Hi guys, so today we're going to be learning how to design complementary cards. So this is just a mock-up, like a visual representation of how I placed the complementary card. What I'm actually going to design is the front and the back, right? This is actually my own complementary card that I made for my brand. So I'll be showing you how I designed this very simple complementary card. Let's get started. So I would have to import the main design so I can be able to reference it when I'm making my own design so that you can be able to understand. So this is the front. This is the front of the business card, right? So first things first, we'll have to set the image size of our canvas, right? Or of this empty space. We have to set the size to become the size of business card. As you can see, this business card is not square in shape. It's actually rectangular. Business cards have their own sizes, right? Sorry, not business card, complementary card. I normally interchange these two. So in the course of this video, if I interchange the two terms, just know that I'm talking about complementary card. So how to get the size of a complementary card? Pixel Lab measures in pixels. We have units of measurement. We have pixels, we have inches, we have feet, we have centimeter, we have millimeters. Pixel Lab, as the name implies, works in pixels, right? So before you do any single design, you have to know the size that you're working with. Okay, so for example, now you want to design this business card. You don't just go and assume any number. No, what you have to do is you go to Chrome. You tell Chrome, I want to design a business card. I need the sizes in pixels, right? Pixels. To design, you tell them to give you the size of a complementary card in pixels. So when it does that, it's going to give them to you. So I had already done my research earlier before I started this tutorial. So this is the size of a complementary card in pixels, right? So this is the size of a complementary card. Pixels is actually spelled like this. Pixels. This is spelling of pixels. So from Pixel Lab, you get the word pixel. So this is the spelling of pixel, right? Good. So the size of a complementary card is 1050 by 600. 1050 is the width and 600 is the height. So let's set our canvas, that is this empty space. Let's set it to the size of a business card. So I would go to this background icon. I always call here my background icon. I'll click on image size. Then I'll change the width to what? 1050. Then the height to what? 600. Then I'll press OK. Good. So now you've seen that we now have the perfect size for a complementary card, right? So whenever you have a complementary card to design, just always make sure, if you can cram this figure on your head, if you can write it down anywhere, the size of a business card, or the size of a complementary card is 1050 by 600 pixels. 1050 is the width, 600 is the height. So let's continue. This business card, this complementary card is actually very simple, right? I always like making very simple designs that are straightforward. I don't even stress anybody to view, and designs that are also very attractive, something that will make people say, wow, I like this design, I like this complementary card. So let me show you how I designed something very simple. So if you look at this business card, look at this complementary card very well, you'll see that there are some patterns inside, right? So first of all, I'll change the color of the background to the color of my business card. I don't really know the color code, so what I'll just do, I'll go to the object, I'll still go to this place, click on color. Since I don't know the color code, what I'll just do, I'll click on plus, click on this eyedropper tool, right? So I'll click on it, highlight this particular business card and just choose, just point out, pick out the color, then I'll tick good, then okay. Now we have the color of the background, right? So the next thing I have to do now is to get the pattern, this particular stuff inside here that is looking somehow like it's looking like shapes, right? Is actually the pattern that I used in the design. So let's go import it. So this is the pattern that I used. This is actually the pattern that I used. Right, this pattern is blue. One thing about Pixel Lab is that Pixel Lab can change colors of images, right? So I can just go and change it to white because it's actually white I used. When I change it to white, I will now increase it. So I'll change the color to white. This particular white, I'll take good. I can choose to rotate it a bit, then like turn the rotation, then increase. I need to lock this particular, I need to close it so that we can be able to see what we are doing. Oh, I'll just increase it a bit. Increase it. In the other business card, you can see that it is actually faded, the opacity, so I'll reduce it till I get something like this, right? I want this pattern to be very minimal. Why I want it to be minimal is that I don't want it to drag people's attention. That is not the main aim of the design. The main aim of the design is to show my logo and my business name and my excuse me, and to show my brand name. So this pattern is just something, just a minimal beauty stuff, just to add more beauty to the design, right? So I have to make it very, very little. So I made it 8% opacity, and I think it's okay this way. So good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to import my logo, right? I'm import my logo, but because here is actually moving around, I can't be able to click out and go to import because these tools are here. So what I will do is I will make sure that I lock this place. I'll lock the pattern so that when I click out, I can get these options. But if I don't lock it, right? If I don't lock it, if I want to click out to get the other options, it's not going to be able to click out because it's already highlighted. So, but when I lock it, I can be able to click out, right? This time around, it's no longer highlighted. Then I'll go to import, then get my logo. Okay, so this is my logo actually. This logo is half human brain, half lights, right? Why I made it like that was because graphic design is more like inspiration. It's more like when you get an inspiration, then it's looking like your light bulb moment. So that's actually what my tagline is, right? You imagine, we create. Creation there is the basic light bulb moment because it's when you're imagining it, you're doing the brain work, and we are creating it. We're making your imagination come to life, giving light to your imagination. So this is just this is what my logo embodies. We give light to your imagination, right? So let's continue. So this is my my logo. I'll just place it in the middle. Not really middle, then I'll place it somewhere here. The next thing I have to do is my brand name, which is Steph Graphics Media. So I get a new text and just type in Steph Graphics Media. I'll make this M capital M, then okay. It's already white in color. I needed it to be white in color because of very good contrast, right? So that people can be able to see my brand name, like, and not looking at just the background. At least the name is contrasting very well with the background. So I'll change the font. Actually, I have a font for my brand, right? I have a particular font that I use for my brand. So the font I used is Dynapuff. In case you want to actually use the same font with me, you're very free. You can just go to Google and type Dynapuff, then download. Use the video I made earlier on how to install fonts on Pixel Lab. Then you can be able to use it to install this particular font. The name of this font is Dynapuff. Dynapuff. That is the name of the font. So I'll click on OK. Then I'll reduce this. But once again, the line between Step Graphics and Media is too much, right? So not really line, the spacing. I like most of my letters to be, or my sentences or words to be a bit joined together. I don't like there being space in between my letters, sorry, in between my words. So what I will do is this: I'll have to reduce the line spacing, right? This is just where you go to reduce the line spacing, then okay, then good. I think I'm done with the front part of my complimentary card, right? This is very simple and straight to the point. I didn't want to do something too much. Then I have to check something. I need to make sure this is in the middle actually, so I'll click here and click here, right? Same thing goes for this one. I'll come here, go here and click here, just to make sure it is in the middle of the space where it is in, right? So I think I need to just take it up a bit because the step graphics moved up a bit. And we have the front part of our complimentary card, right? It's not hard. You can just design your own and put your name, put your logo, right? Put your name and put your logo, and that is great. You can even print it and share to people. Tell people this is what I do. So this time around, we're going to go to print the back of the business card, right? The back of the complimentary card. So let's get started again. This time around, I'll have to just close some parts of this. Remember, we have to maintain the same size because complimentary card, the front and the back are equal. You don't make the front a particular length and weight and make the back a different length or weight. No, the back and the front are the same size, so I'm going to maintain the same size for the front and the back. The next thing I have to do now is to import the back so that you can see how I designed the back, right? So let's get started. So this is the back of the complimentary card, right? This is the back of the complimentary card. It's actually very simple and very straightforward. This is the way I choose to make my own complimentary card because that's the way I like it. But you might not like to make your own this way. You might like to put in some services of what you do. You might want to put in some contact numbers or social media icons or social media handles, right? That's left for you. But for me, this is actually what I want for my own brand. So I'll just show you how I designed the back. It's not actually very hard, it's very simple. So let's get started. If you look well, I have a gradient, right? I don't just have one uniform gradient, just like the first one here. This one here contains two gradients. There's no reason why I did that, just because I want it to be more beautiful. That's why I give it two gradients, right? So I'll show you how I did the gradients. In my earlier videos, right, I've shown how to make gradients, but I'll still show you how to make gradients in this video. So that being said, I'll just make sure I click on this particular icon because I want to change the color of the background. Then I'll go to color. But because I want to deal with gradients, I told you earlier that gradient is a mixture of two or more colors, right? That was gradient is, two or more colors. So that is gradient. So because I want to make a gradient, I click on gradient. I choose gradient. Actually, I've already made the gradient earlier before, so that is why it's still in my pixel lab. But because I want to show you how I got the pixels, I want to show you how I got the gradient, right? I'm going to have to create from scratch. So I'll click on plus. When I click on plus, you can see the flow of the color moves from left to right. So I'm going to make this arrow go from here to here and not from up to down. All these are different orientation. These boxes here are different orientation where you can change the arrow and the color position. So I want the color position to be from left to right. So the first color on my left, I want to change it. I'll click on this arrow. I'll make sure this purplish thing is showing, this pinkish thing is showing on the arrow. Then I'll click on color. Click on color. Then because I don't know the color code of the gradient, I'll just pick the color from the back of the business card. So I'll click on this, then I'll pick this color. This is the darkest color here. This consists of just two colors, the darkest part of this color and the lightest part. So for now, I want to pick this one. Good. then I'll tick OK. I've succeeded in changing this particular part of the business card, right? So let's change the other part. I'll click on this arrowhead here. It is highlighted because it's showing pink. Then I'll click on color, then color picker. Then I'll select the image, then pick this particular color. Then I'll tick good. Then OK. Then finally, final OK. Good. We've gotten our gradient background. So that being said, let's just go straight to the point. Carlos Stefina, right? So I'm the CEO of this my particular company, but I don't want to write CEO, Step Graphics Media or any single thing. I'll just write my name, Carlos Stefina. So I'll go back to get a new text. Then I'll edit it to my name, Carlos Stefina. Okay, then I'll still change the font to Dynapuff. I told you Dynapuff is my brand font, right? So I'll go to recent font because I've used the font before. I'll just select Dynapuff and say okay. It's already in white color, so I don't need to change the color again. The next thing we have here is what I do. I'm a graphic designer, right? So I'll just get a new text and write graphic designer. So in your own case, you might be a social media manager. You can be anything. You can just write what you do underneath your name, right? You can choose to be more creative in doing that. So graphic designer. The font I used here was just a random font, a normal font. I think I used Poppins. Let's use Poppins regular. Why I use regular is because I don't want the graphic designer to be popping out. Like, I just want it to be there. My name has to be the first thing. Then from my name, you can be able to see the graphic designer. So I use this particular font, but I need to make it yellow so as to also make it drag attention a bit. So the color I used was yellow. I'll just go to color, then I'll search for the particular yellow I used. I think this is the yellow. Well, yeah, let's use this particular yellow. So Carlos Stefina, graphic designer. The next thing here is my contact details, right? My phone number, my Facebook name, then my YouTube handle. So I would get this particular font. I'll duplicate this particular text. I'll duplicate it because I want to still maintain this font, right? I don't want to go and change the font to Poppins. I want to still maintain this particular font. So what I'll just do, I'll go to edit. Then remember that I've said something about a particular font that changes text to icon, right? So because I want to put my icon now, which is WhatsApp, I'll put WhatsApp as W. Then put my semicolon. My WhatsApp number is 0810655432. Then the next icon I want to put here, the next social media handle is my Facebook social media handle. So F is for Facebook. So my Facebook handle is Steph Graphics Media. The next one I want to put is my YouTube handle. You just put Y. Y is for YouTube. Then is designs with Steph. Good. But I want to change the colors of everything here to white, right? For now, I'll change the colors of everything here to white. Then let's go change, and then I'll reduce the text a bit, right? I don't want it to be very big. Let's go change the fonts of those texts to icons. So we use a font called Typeecon. So I'll just select only the W first of all and type Typeecon, then select. Then the next one, I'll select just the F to change it to Facebook. I'll select just the Y and still click on this font to change it to YouTube. Then I'm good to go. So from the design, I made all the social media icons yellow in color. So this is how you can do that. You go to color, you slide up a bit, you highlight just the W, you scroll and look for the yellow. This is the yellow. Good. Then the next thing again, you highlight only your F. only the F, select yellow. Highlight only the Y, that's for YouTube. Select yellow. Good. So we are good to go for now. The next thing I added here that has not been here is my brand logo and brand name. So I need to look this up, right? Then I need to open up Step Graphics Media and my logo. You know, earlier on I used it for the front of my logo of my complimentary card. So I'll just reduce it. Something about this particular thing is that if I reduce it, it's looking as if the Step Graphics and the media are too jam-packed. So I'll reduce it a bit, put it here, go back to my line spacing, then increase the line spacing a bit, right? So this is okay for me. This is okay. I'll click on good. Then this, I just have to reduce it a bit and place it somewhere here. I think it's actually very small. So finally, I've been able to replicate the front and the back of my business card, of my complimentary card. Anyone, I'm just using them interchangeably. So the next thing I'm going to do here, we are done, right? I need to check for my alignment. It's a very, very important thing to do whenever you're done designing, to make sure everything is aligned and orderly, right? So I'll just click on my grid, alignment grid. I'll click on this particular icon. Then I need to make sure these particular places are aligned. So I move this particular line to this place, starting from K. You can see that social media icons are not, social media handles are not aligned. So the next thing again, I'll move this one down here to make sure this aligns with this. So when I'm done, I now have to move the element that I'm aligning. I'll first of all click out here. Then I can now move this to touch the line. At the same time, it's touching the line that is underneath. Then this one, I move it a bit to touch this line underneath. Same thing with my logo. Just have to use the position to position it a bit. So this is great. Everything is aligned, right? And straight to the point. So that's all for this tutorial. It's a very simple tutorial. I try to make it very simple because I like simplicity in design. So thank you for really watching, and I hope you can be able to replicate it in your own time. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, like, and share. See you next time. Bye.